Let me just check. Good evening, welcome. This is Sreeram here. I'll come on live video very soon. Welcome to the webinar.
Hi JVC, good evening.
Good evening, a warm welcome to every one of you. You can probably go to the chat box and put across your name and where you're coming from. I can see, I don't know, admin, somebody, Ayush, Imran, KK Nigam, Mirza Mustafa, Naveen Lamba, Rajan, Sahana Seshadri, Subhash, Suresh Vijayan, Sambat Kumar, Anthony Wales, welcome. Mirza is saying good evening, JVC, good evening, very good evening. Is there anybody who would like to speak? I would be glad to unmute them because I muted everybody and you will not be able to unmute yourself. So let me know, I'll be glad to unmute you. So we'll start the webinar exactly by 6 p.m. It's 5:50 now. And we're also going live on YouTube. If there are any RATA members or ISHRE members who have joined, kindly introduce yourself in the chat box. Seshadri, I think, is from Nairobi. Yes, good evening, Ayush from Aligarh. Yes. Mr. Soundarajan, ISHRE member, Hyderabad. Welcome, Mr. Soundarajan. Mr. G.S. Soundarajan. Hi to all. Vijay Kumar from Hyderabad. Yes, you're safely come to Hyderabad now from Chennai. I hope you're at a safer place. The webinar will begin by, as I told, by 6 p.m. exactly. KK Nigam from New Delhi, welcome. I think Rajan is from Coimbatore. Mustafa from IT Formula One IT Solutions from Hyderabad. Okay, welcome. Welcome, Mirza Mustafa. Suresh from Acube Engineering, Mumbai, ISHRE member. Welcome, Mr. Suresh. Niti Kadakia is joining from Hyderabad. If anybody would like to say anything, feel absolutely free. You can just raise your hand. I would be glad to unmute you. Meenal Sharma is joining from Jaipur. So some of you are joining for the first time. We started our first webinar on April 9th, and I'm extremely glad to share with you that we have been there live every week. Yeah, we started off with Thursday, then we moved to Friday, and as the lockdown was unlocking was happening down, or unlocked down 1.0. So we moved to Saturday so that more and more people can join. We started off with succeeding in pandemonium times, and from there we have covered a lot of areas into relationship marketing, selling, and building the image to facilitate to go into online business and digital business. And we also had, last week, we had a mission training on mission. I'm not sure, is there anybody sitting in this room who was there in my business mission program? If you were there, and if probably you had drafted your mission statement, or you tried to put across your mission statement, you could probably share with the forum here. We have still 7 more minutes to go before we get into the program. Good evening, Meenal. Meenal, we are going live on YouTube today, so I guess we may not have to record because it would be there in the YouTube. You're going live on YouTube. So let me give the background before we get into the webinar, because as people are joining, by April 3rd week, I decided that I would be writing a book on succeeding to the Pandemonium times. This was born out of my first webinar, which I had done on April 9th. And after that, by April 13th, the thought came through that, I should be launching a book, writing a book, because I was already writing another book. But I felt that this was something which is critical and important. And I wrote the first manuscript of the book by around May 10th. We got it done. Between around that time, I found that what I had in the book was probably not sufficient. I felt that I had to do a lot more research, understand how things are panning out, what's the way forward, what the future holds. And for more than a week's time, in fact, actually, I was asking this question: what do I do? How do I make it more effective? And somewhere in 19th or 20th of May, I got this, brainwave, whatever you call, of deciding to talk with some of the business leaders, doctors, owners of hospitals, chief executive officers across the globe. So I reached out to a lot of people, and courtesy of that, we had interviews with close to around 20 people across the world, from India to Europe to Dubai to US, cutting across industries, automobiles, hospitality. I think some of you, like Vijay Kumar, was part of the discussion which we had with the automobile industry owners. And so we came out with a lot of research, and the discussions and conversations which we had a lot of insights. So all those insights are going into the book. The book is almost coming into a conclusion. In fact, one of the beta readers of the book is there in the webinar today, who's Meenal Sharma. And in fact, a lot of background work is going on. A lot of people, a team of professionals are working behind. And by 17th of June, I would be submitting the final transcript. But before I go ahead and do that, I thought it would be really worthwhile for us to share certain information, which is what I promised in the last webinar, that what the trends are, how the trends look like, what are the common element of businesses succeeding, what have they done, what have they done differently, what are the industries which probably are going to take a lot of time to recover, what are those industries which are going to probably come back quickly, all those stuff. A kind of a preview of that is what we're going to see in the webinar today. And I really do hope that you will find a lot of value to take up as a business owner. If you are an employee or a professional and you are looking at what the future holds, where am I heading towards, we'll be looking into those things. So I'll be dividing this webinar into different parts. The part A would be, what is that mantra? What is that one common thing which is emerging across sectors? Who's winning? And the winners, what are they doing? And then number 2 is, as a leader, because most of you sitting in this webinar or business leaders, and as a leader, what are the things that you need to do? The 7 elements of leadership, which is what I found. It's not a concept, it's not a theory. Did the interviews, had a lot of conversations. We wanted to know what's the impact of COVID on various stuff. And an extensive interview with the testing agency, which is partnering with WHO and CDC and ICMR and the PMO office, and the guy who interacts closely with PMO office. So a lot of research had gone, and we want to find out what is the cutting, edge of these companies which are winning. And then we came out with what is called the 7 elements of leadership. I'll be sharing that. And then I would be looking at in terms of what are the trends which we are seeing, which are the industries are going to take a long time to get back on their feet, which are those industries which are probably going to get back very soon, and what's the going to be the scope, what it looks like, what the future looks like. We're not making a prediction. We are making a based on what we have heard, what the industry experts are saying, what they are feeling when they're in the business. Some of them ran the business even when the lockdown was there. When the lockdown was in full force, there were companies were doing business because they were into essentials. And they were the ones who probably will be in a position to give us the exact clue of what's happening. So we got all those things. So right here we are to compile various information which we have, and what the future looks like and how do we move ahead is what we're going to hear and see. And probably you can have a plan of action in the next 1 hour. And then I would take your questions. I would take the questions from most of you sitting here. Another person who's probably the first transcriber, Akshita. Akshita has been doing a lot of transcription for me. We have a big team. It's a team of people who have been working together. It's 6 p.m., so it's good to go. Once again, good evening to all of you who have joined and who are joining right now. So let me just share the screen straight away. Give me a minute, because I would have to share the screen predominantly because, one second. I would have to share the screen predominantly because there's a lot of information which is available, and I would want you to look into it and take a calculated call. So what's that? What's the secret to success amidst pandemonium times? What's pandemonium? Pandemonium is when the crisis becomes too big, it becomes a pandemonium. Is it a pandemonium? 100% yes. Not a soul on this earth has been left untouched by this tiny molecule, called coronavirus, COVID-19, or whatever you want to call it as. So everyone has been hit by this, the new terminology. As a result of which, sorry. One minute. Something went wrong. I didn't go into the speaker view, so I'm just going into the speaker view now. So I was telling, not a single soul had been left untouched by this tiny invisible molecule. Where it came from, how it came from, what happened, nobody has any clue. But it's it. And it's been, as I say, the origins were from China. So living up to the socialist model, it has hit everybody. It has been socialistic. The rich, the poor, the powerful, the mighty, the, what do you call, celebrity, didn't matter. Everybody had been brought on their feet. But amidst all this pandemonium, what stands out? If we are to look at a mantra, what is the biggest mantra which we can take up from this? I had come out with this on April 23rd. If I'm right, April 20th or 23rd, I came with this particular quote. And I think that's the biggest takeaway. Now, still, if you're in doubt whether I'm going to change, do I need to change, how quickly I have to change my business model? Now, I suppose all of you sitting in this hall, in this webinar, the virtual room, have already brought about the changes, incorporated those changes. Maybe if you have, type in the chat box, I've already started to change, change certain things in your business, because now lockdown is over. We are back to normal, but it's a new normal has come into the effect. So if you have, then I would be extremely glad to hear from you. You just type in the chat box, yes, things have started to change. Because if you're not changed, it's not going to work. The mantra which everybody told us in the earlier days were the survival of the fittest. But the mantra now is the survival of the fastest, the quickest, and the swiftest. I'm hearing, yes, Deepika, we've already started to make changes. Niti Kadakia, yes, I already started to change. Yes. So, what are those changes? That's what is critical, because it's about how soon you're to change. It's about not waiting for the competitors to change and then react to it. You got to be proactive. What is the difference between being proactive and being reactive? Proactive is anticipating something which had not happened, market has not changed, and then I wanting to change would make it happen. Reactive is the market has changed, and now I'm trying to catch up with the competition and I'm changing. Now, this is basically reactive. Simple example, all of us to understand. Nokia did not proactively change. They had market share of 45, 43, so 13.8, 39. It was declining, but still they were not changing. They thought things are not going to change dramatically. And then what happened? Apple came, Google came out with Android, and within a couple of years' time, it took just 2 years for a company which had market share of 42% to come down less than 5%. And Kel Khatam Dukhan Band. That's all, it's over. So if you're waiting for the market and see, okay, let's see the trend, with the trend I will change. That's not going to happen. So you got to change very, very quickly. And I've got case studies, and it has to be very swift. It has to be very fast. And I'm sharing with you a few companies who have changed certain things for the better. They failed. Some of them failed, but still it worked. So what are those companies which I'm talking about? Walmart. I'm going to give you a global example, and I'm going to give you local examples, right from India itself and also global example. Walmart realized very quickly by the third week of March 2020, that there are senior citizens coming. There are people who are medically not fit who are coming to shop, and coming to the shop is not only a danger for them, and they would pose danger to others. So they brought in what is called the concierge service, which will be available only on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and will be available from 7 a.m. and 9 a.m., where a customer will have to, and they developed an app, and all this, let me tell you how many days it took. And then everybody was working virtually. So what happens is the customer can log into the app, which they did not have before, and they can place the order, and they can come outside one of the 600 Walmart stores in US, and they do not have to step down from the car, and their entire order will be fulfilled along with the payment flat in 16 minutes. In 16 minutes. And guess what happened? What happened was phenomenal. For the first time in the last few years, Walmart had a growth of 8%. This is coming from the senior director of marketing and communications from Walmart and Sam's Club. He happens to be my nephew, Abhishek Subramaniam. 8%. Sam's Club, which is a wholesale retailer of Walmart, has reported a profit of 16%, growth of 16% in the months of April and May. Now, when everybody is talking about, no, there is business is not there, things are getting worse. Now, here is a retail giant growing at a rapid speed and they did it in 6 days, 6 flat days. They didn't wait for the market to change. Now, today, a lot of retailers are closing down across the globe. And the guys are telling, Walmart being a bureaucratic company, normally it would take not less than 3 or 6 months for an app to come. And this gentleman, Abhishek, tells me, Sreeram, I used to meet my leadership team once in 20 days. And now, because he is talking about leadership means at the board level, because he himself is the senior director. So he says, right now, we are meeting 7 times a day online, and decisions are made so quickly. And app development, which normally takes, we will call for tender, we will ask this, that, and everything. No, it's all over. But Sreeram, at Walmart in US, there is a spinning mill in Tanuku. Not sure how many of you have heard of Tanuku. And Fortunately, they did not have guest workers or what you call as migrant laborers. Everybody works from there. So they got the permission to open the factory because, Tanuku fortunately did not have great impact of COVID-19, and they were able to get on feet. And others were still trying to source raw materials, but these guys were able to up and running in April itself. Guess what happened? Two of the biggest customers in India, because they sell, yarn, and they sell yarn to two of the biggest textile companies in the country. They've been chasing them for the last 5 years, and these companies are not even listening to these guys. This guy can name the company also. Chaudhary Spinning is the name of the company. And that's it. Over. It's speed of change. It's how quickly you change. United Phosphorus Limited posted more than 22% growth in the April, May, June quarter. That's what they're going to report. And I'm going to have a case study in my book. When the lockdown happened, 7th day of the lockdown, their factory started running. They formed a task force. And I'll tell you in the story, as we go along, what has happened with United Phosphorus Limited. Amazing story. But what did they do? Speed. They said decisions have to be decentralized. Decisions have to be taken by the factory manager level. All decisions need not go to the board. Directors will not get involved. Take your decision, justify your decision. And some decisions will go right, some decisions will go wrong, even in your business. I have another client, Seedworks. And the CEO of Seedworks was the second person whom I interviewed. And he says, Sreeram, it's about change, complete change. Everybody in our organization works from home, or they're working virtually. And think about it, people working in seed industries means in Aligarh, in Sultanpur, in Robertsganj, in Hissar, in Batinda. And they have been able to bring about the change, and people, and that to the farming community. Farmers are changing. So as a result of which, these guys also have to change. And the biggest was Medica Hospital. If any one of you have heard of Medica Hospital, a super specialty hospital chain in East Bengal, and you'll be surprised, absolutely surprised. And I had a 1-hour conversation with the co-founder and the joint managing director of Medica Hospital. And what does he say? And this is a story based on these companies. And you too can. And I did that. I have been sharing it in most of the webinars, and I'll be sharing it even today. I did the same thing. What did Medica do? Medica has investors from Hong Kong, and they quickly passed out the information to them by the first week of February that this COVID thing is going to spread all over the world. No country is going to be insulated from COVID. So by February 18th, the boat sat. And by February 22nd, the next slide, you will see the picture. And that's just one picture which Udayan had shared with me yesterday night. Yesterday night he shared with me. This is on the left side of me. What you see is February 18th, 2020. On the right side, what you see is February 22nd, 2020. Trump was around in India. There were hardly 3 cases. And here is an hospital. What did they do? They anticipated. This is only one change which I'm talking about. They changed the air conditioners. I think we have people from ISHRE here and RATA here. And I think they went by the ASHRAE guidelines way back in February, and the board approved for the change. The 1 floor of the hospital at Kolkata, the 5th floor of the hospital, they took the guidelines from ASHRAE. Because I don't know at that point in time whether ISHRE itself had the guidelines. And they had the guidelines. And they asked the contractors. They had to maintain a temperature between 24 degrees and 30 degrees. And the air pressure. And they had to install a few things. And did everything. And they started screening for temperature from February 22nd. They had a separate hospital, fever hospitals. Anybody who had symptoms were kept there. And the government had not given approval for the test to be conducted by the private agencies at that point in time. But still, the head of Cajun, whom I interviewed, he tells me, Sreeram, Medica was one of the first hospitals where they called us up and asked us to install a testing facility, a molecular biology testing facility, as early as the 3rd week of March. By that time, there was no guideline. And the joint managing director of Medica Hospital tells me that Government did not have a guideline, but we had our own guidelines. We asked our doctors, who are all vice chairman, the department head of the department of each department is called as a vice chairman. Like say neurology, there will be a vice chairman. There will be a cardiology, there will be a vice chairman, and they had their connections of their colleagues working in Italy, in France, in Germany, in US, and they contacted those doctors and got those guidelines. What's following? Because by US, by third week of March, US was hit. Italy was flat. When I say the curve was not flat, the country was flat. Now, what did they do? I'm going to discuss in the next few minutes. Now, this is what I'm talking about, the speed of change. Absolutely. You got to be ruthless. And now what's happening? Even I'm talking to a lot of people in Hyderabad. Hospitals, we don't have the touchless sinks. We still have to open we have to operate by hand. Male leading hospitals. And I know a lot of business men are here. You can smell opportunity. Every hospital, every hotel, every place will have to go senseless, with senseless. Touchless is the name of the game. And every aspect of Medica was changed. And what happened? By March, third week of 2020, the occupancy fell to 20%. 20% was occupancy of Medica. And still they were investing all the money. They kept the 5th floor for COVID patients. They kept the 1st floor for COVID suspects. And hospital was almost empty. Nobody was walking in. Revenues were plummeting. And they had already made their projection that this was going to be a loss. But they were getting ready. They were getting ready for something. West Bengal government, by the 2nd week of April, realized that they did not have the infrastructure to manage COVID patients. The mortality rate of West Bengal was going up, and at one point of time it was 13%, if some of you remember. As a result of which, the government, including the chief minister and chief secretary and the health secretary, reached out to all the private hospital owners, and most of the hospitals were already locked. They were shut down for the lockdown, but Medica was open. And the government asked these guys, would you be in a position to take COVID patients? Because still now, suspected COVID patients you're sending back, can we come for an inspection? And Medica was ready. Medica was ready even before any other hospital was ready to take patients. They've got 11 hospitals and 5 of them were ready because they already had the infrastructure in place. Now, you got to ask yourself the question. If you are a business owner, doesn't matter which industry you belong to, what are the changes that you foresee? I foresee change. I never thought the webinar would be possible. I never thought I would be coming every Saturday evening and doing a webinar. And every Sunday I would be doing a paid workshop where people pay money and do the program. And I take it up. I never thought 5 days in a week I'll be sitting and working on my book. But these are the changes that has been wrought. Lord Tennyson said long time back, the old order changeth, yielding place to new, and God fulfills himself in many ways, lest one good custom should corrupt the world. I'm going to come about it in the little while from now. I'll be dwelling more on it. So what happened? Medica today as on May 29, 2020, they had admitted 500 COVID patients. And mortality rate has been 0.8%, with 4 people dying and the remaining people having recovered. Now, Medica I know healthcare is going to get affected. Healthcare, it will at least take 2020 December or the March of 2021 for the healthcare to literally raise its head. But amongst all of them, Medica will be one ahead of others, simply because they were able to change. So ask yourself, what are the changes you have to bring about? If you're in training industry, have you gone online? Have you gone digital? If you're an insurance person, people are not going to give you appointments anymore. Physical meetings are not going to happen every day. You got to be able to sell online. You got to have powerful videos explaining your product's features and benefits and what will be the outcome. If you're a real estate guy, I'm still seeing a lot of people saying, Sreeram, I want an appointment with you. That is gone. I'm not going to meet people because I'm comfortable doing business online. There are certain things you have to meet. But we realize that remote working is possible. It's absolutely possible. It's efficient and effective. So what are the changes you're going to see? And if you're somebody who's into kind of a construction business, where is my business going to come from? Now, eventually all hospitals, all the hotels, all the public places will have to move the way Medicare has moved. Now, do you see an opportunity here? Can you install touchless, sensor-based washing areas and without touching entering, using the foot? All those things, air conditioners will have to go through certain changes. So what are the opportunities you're seeing? So what are the changes which you're going to bring in? How are you going to bring in every industry? Chartered accountants. 90% of the work is going to be automated. So as a result of which, what would you do? You're to invest on automation, learning about automation. Even to drive automation, you need an individual, you need a human intervention, and that is where it comes. So profits are possible, provided you are willing to change proactively, change fast. Survival of the fastest and the quickest and the swiftest to change is the one who is going to survive in this post-COVID world. Along with that, we also found there were 7 elements. And if you're a business owner, and if you are a CEO or a CXO, if you have people working with you, under you, you have team. Now you got to understand this is what is the need of the hour. And every one of us will have to get into it. And this is something which I've found all the winning organizations. But the hospitality industry has not done that. The 7 elements was missing in the hospitality industry. And I'll tell you why. And as a result of which, hospitality industry is struggling even today. Why? And will struggle. Because information was not passed on. Well, the top hotel chains, like your Hyatts and Marriotts, knew what was coming because they've already seen it in China. They've already got presence in Hong Kong. They've already got presence in Italy, but they never shared. And when I spoke to some of the hospitality industry people, they were saying, see, March 15th, Mumbai was full. Delhi was full. In fact, Vice President of Reliance Jio World Center, Mr. Virendra Razdan, he says, I was in Udaipur on March 16th and 17th. And on March 16th and 17th, Udaipur, the entire resort was full. And we were all under the assumption that we are going to have a great summer. But yes, cancellations are coming. But because industry, people were not passing. The multinational companies, the hotels were not passing information to others. But multinational companies, hotels were ready. They were getting ready, saying that things are going to get worse. But others operated in silos. And you know pretty well, hotels have a different model. You have multinational companies, you have ITC Group, you have Tatas, and you have Oberois, and then you have smaller groups, and you have locally owned hotels across the country. As a result of which, what happened? What happened was a terrible thing where, because there was no engagement, because these 7 elements of leadership were not implemented, hospitality industry, I couldn't find a winner. But I could find in agrochemicals. I could find in agriculture. I could find in cotton. I could find in retail. I could find even in automobile, some companies ability to, they would stand up faster than others. So what are those 7 elements? Let's quickly look into what are those 7 elements which are going to make a huge difference in the next few days. You don't have months, we have only days. The 7 elements of leadership in pandemonium times. I'm going to take each one, and I'm going to take a few minutes time, and then go to the industries which are going to go up, industries which are going to probably turn down, and industries where there's going to be a little bit of flatness, and see which industry is doing what. And from there, I'll share with you what is the most optimistic scenario people are quoting, and what is the most pessimistic scenario which people are quoting. And then I would take question and answer session. So I guess I'll be in a position to complete it by 6:45 or 6:50, so that I can take your question for 20 to 25 minutes time. I would like to keep it within 1 hour. So the 7 elements of leadership in Pandemonium times. The first element was companies which succeeded encouraged people to voice their views. Simple. Number one, there was a culture where people were allowed to communicate. A CEO of a seed company tells me, we had a program called Dial Your CEO. He says, I was in a webinar, and after the webinar web meeting was over, Microsoft Teams meeting is over, I told them at the end of the meeting that if you guys think a decision has to be taken at my level, and if you have to bypass your regional manager, your zonal manager, and your general manager, I'm just a WhatsApp message away. But be sure that you need me to correct on that. He encouraged people. And he says that evening, a message came from an area manager in Haryana. And the area manager says, sir, a particular competition is doing an SKU. And considering the times we are living in, where transporting is becoming a problem, if we do not come with this SKU, we will lose the market share. And I know the only person who can take this decision ASAP is you, because otherwise, it has to go to marketing department, go to everything. To address this, immediately the CEO says, I had two choices. Choice one was for me to actually tell this guy, escalate the issue to your regional manager. But then the whole purpose will get defeated. Choice two was to get on a con call with the area manager, regional manager, and the procurement team and the marketing team, and to arrive at a decision. He says, I chose the second one. I immediately asked people to come on a con call. We came on a con call. Within a matter of few minutes, decision was taken. And next day morning, a new SKU, we decided that we will get it. Yes, we were an essential company, but the other company was not an essential company. But we told them that being a supplier of an essential company, you also will have to get it done. Result, the whole company got charged up. They knew pretty well that here is an CEO who's walking the talk, encourage people to come out with ideas. Medica encouraged people to come out with their own ideas. Doctors came out with their own ideas. Vice chairman, they came and said Italy is happening here, USA it's happening here, Hong Kong it's happening here, China is happening here. Result, done. Okay, what should we do? Put the guidelines. But many other hospitals did not have. They didn't encourage. See, you can't wait for the chairman to take every decision. So in your business, do you have a system or a methodology by means of which you can encourage people to come with their own ideas? If yes, great. If not, review it right now. Because no one person can take a decision. And allow people, even in your company, if they have faced a crisis in their life, personal life, they are better equipped to manage the situation. But when COVID is going, no, my dear friend, it's not going anywhere. Lockdown has been open, but the number of cases are only going up. And today in Beijing, there are 45 people who are tested positive. I'm not trying to give you a pessimistic scenario. I'm giving you a realistic scenario. We have to live with the new norm for some more time. So as a result of which, get into this. Number one, encourage people. Number two, engage. This is very critical. Now, but Sreeram, I don't have too many employees with me. No problem. Are you engaging with your customers? Have you reached out to your customers? Have you talked with them? Have you talked to those customers who never give an order to you? Have you engaged? Have you engaged with the suppliers? Have you talked to them? No, if I have to talk to the supplier, then he will ask me for money. It's okay. It's okay. In fact, this is one term which has got two phrases have got a lot of, traction in this COVID time. One is, it's okay. Number two is, I don't know. I have a client of mine who normally pays exactly on time. Last week, I sent him an invoice. I asked him, can I send an invoice? He said, okay, please send me an invoice. So I sent him. And normally 100% payment will come on a Saturday. And I see he's only sent me 35% of the invoice value. Immediately called him and he said, Sreeram, I'm sorry, I will pay you this week, next week, next week. Is it okay? I said, it's okay. The very fact that you're paying, that itself is enough for me. So situation has come where everybody is in a trouble. It's a public problem. It's not a private problem. So engage, which is very critical. UPL was a classic example of engaging. They wanted to open, but as I told you, is an essential company, but their suppliers were not an essential company. And pretty well, to open the lockdown, what needs to happen is that the local IAS officer at the district level will have to approve. And these owners never knew, this suppliers, raw material suppliers, never knew how to approach an IAS officer. So these guys would talk to the chief secretary and in turn would talk to the IAS officers and will fix appointments for these guys who are the suppliers to go and get approval for opening their factories. And they engage. They had a 3-level engagement with the government, one-side engagement, with the suppliers, another time engagement. And that's it. The new word is engage. Have you engaged with your customers? And what are the free things which you're giving to your customers? Which is very critical. This webinar is free. And I've been giving it for the last 2 months. Every week I've been giving. So it could be free tips. It could be free advice. It could be free values. Because you want to be with you want to engage with the customer, with your client. Now, this is a moment where everybody is in a problem. There is nobody who's not into a problem. Yeah, there are some people who are not into a problem because they're selling masks, the rate which was 80 rupees, and they're selling it at 800 rupees and they're making money. And those are a small brand of people who have used COVID to become a millionaire and a billionaire also. But otherwise, everybody is into a problem. Everybody is into a challenge. So engagement is critical. Encourage, next is engage. Engage with your people. And number 3 is empathize with people. On the other day, the director of Microsoft, I was having a conversation with him. He says, I was speaking with the head of Azure computing, because he's a director of finance in Azure, the entire cloud computing. He's the director of finance. And he was saying that he was having a call with the head of Azure overall operations. And as he was having a conversation, this guy's young boy who was 6 years old came running, Dad, I want to argue. And he's like, no, go. I'm talking to the head of Microsoft Azure Computing. Say, hey, it's okay. I know you are working from home. No problem. Relax. Bring the child. Let him sit on your lap and play around. And let's have a conversation. Empathy. And I did a webinar for my own college. Where I studied. And I'm an academic failure. And teachers, most of them, professors, complained, saying that, sir, HODs do not, listen to us. They are saying 7:30, come on Zoom, and we want to discuss with you. Another 9:30, come on Zoom. 11:30, come on Zoom. Sir, my husband is there, children is there. I have to cook food. I have to take care of them. Earlier, we used to go to the college by 8 a.m. and come back by 4 p.m. Now, from 7 a.m. till 12 in the midnight, we are working. And there is absolutely no reprieve. And mind your words, these are the guys who are looking for a change. The moment things get normal, they are no more going to work for you. Empathize. In fact, orders will not work. I also found, I want this report by 5 o'clock in the evening. No, empathize with people. Cool down, chill. It's okay is a great word. It's okay is a great phrase. Use it as much as possible. Element 3. So it's encourage, it's engage, it's empathize. And the 4th one is energize. People have no energy, low on energy. What's going to happen to the future? So give them confidence. Give them confidence. In fact, 80 nurses from Medica Hospital decided to leave to Northeast, Manipur, and bus came from Manipur and picked them and went. And there was a general panic amongst everybody that the COVID patients are going to come to Medica Hospital, as a result of which things are going to get into a problem. And combined with another element, which I would also be speaking about, the chairman, Mr. Alok Roy, it seems called for a meeting and said, the normal PPE is 250 rupees, but we have bought PPE for you for 800 rupees, right? So there is no chance of this PPE, personal protective equipment, getting torn. Now, not a single doctor or a nurse or an healthcare worker of medical hospital got tested positive, and every 14 days they get tested. Every 14 days they get tested. They have an in-house testing facility. Now, this has energized people. People have no way of confidence. Now, what's happening? The city, same city where I'm coming from, in Hyderabad, we have seen outside Gandhi Hospital, poor doctors and nurses going on strike. Now, why? People need confidence. People need to be told, yes, I will take care. And that's the way. And once you energize them, you empower them to think out of the box and take a solution. Come out of the solution. And I'll give you a classical example of UPL here. You'll be surprised and stunned. UPL decided to open the factory in Gujarat, United Phosphorus Limited, used to be called as. It's a 35,000 crore company, which means close to around $5 billion company. Now, they went to the IAS officer, asked for the permission, and said that it is an essential one. Agriculture, we are producing chemicals for fertilizers required. But one of the junior manager, not even a senior manager, quickly understood that the objection which will come from the collector is there are not enough sanitizers in the district. In that district, sanitizers are not there. And even if it is there, it's extremely expensive. So he came with an idea that if at all we have to open the factory, we have to have sanitizer. And then 3-4 of them sat on Zoom together and spoke. And UPL doesn't manufacture sanitizer. They downloaded the recipe from WHO website and CDC website. And they prepared the recipe. They manufactured the sanitizer, which is not their business at all. In the sense that they manufactured, in the sense that they got the recipe and everything. Now they went to the collector's office. They told the collector that you do not have sanitizer. Allow us to open the factory. We will manufacture the sanitizer and give to the entire district for the police officers, for the hospitals, and for your department free of cost. But let us open, because we are a chemical company, we are a fertilizer company, we are not manufacturing sanitizer, but we have found out the recipe. Can we do that? Now, this guy did not have to call his CEO, did not have to call his head of the department, nothing. He, along with his factory manager, took a decision. They are empowered to take a decision. Now, what did the collector say? If you are going to open, if you're going to manufacture sanitizer, I don't have a problem in you opening the factory. Bang! First day, 2,000 liters of sanitizer was manufactured, given. By the third day, 2 lakh liters were manufactured, and the entire district, it was available. Do you think the collector will have any problem in stopping them from opening their factory? No way. But the point is, a junior manager took a decision because they are empowered. In your business, have you empowered people to take a decision? In fact, probably next week I'll be taking a session on deal making. You know, if you're a owner of the company, you should have clear SOP at this point, because people want to take quick decisions now. Now, at what level, what decision can be taken? Communicate that. Okay, up to the price of so many lakhs, the decision will be taken by this level. If it is a few crore, then it will be taken at that level. So empower people across the organization. And UPL had a culture of empowerment. And think about it. There were times where many of you are into sales and marketing here. There were times where area manager, regional manager, general manager, CEO of the company also will go to the market, will go on a sales call with the local executive, see how they're doing. No, April, May, we couldn't do it. And they're not going to do it. And they're not going to travel anymore. If the vice president is sitting in Hyderabad, he's not going to travel to Uttar Pradesh and do all those things. So as a result of which, and people are empowered, people are trustworthy, People stand up to the occasion. This is a new norm. Trust people and empower them. Equip people. So UPL did not just like that start off everything. They equipped people. They gave them all the necessary checklist prepared by Boston Consultancy Group. Okay, this is a checklist. Go through the checklist and run your factory by yourself. That's it. Same way Medica equipped people. They gave them the PPEs, perfect PPEs. N95 masks were given, and they were ordered well in advance in February itself, knowing pretty well that some situation of this kind will happen. In fact, Medica's owner tells me, Sreeram, if you're going to go and fight in the war, you should have enough weapons in your arsenal. If you don't have enough weapons in your arsenal, you're going to lose people. And COVID is a war. And we are fighting this COVID war. And we better have equipments to fight, otherwise we'll die. When doctors across the world have died, some hospitals have been able to manage because they've equipped people. And finally, everything, it all comes down to execute to excellence. In Medica, even today, he says, we executed to excellence. In fact, he shared the pictures. Excellent. Every plan was made. Okay, this is how the distancing will happen. The war. So the patient comes. There is a stringent procedure. Patient gets tested, goes to the first floor. Every suspect is kept to the first floor. And once it is positive, goes to the fifth floor. If he is not positive, even if he has come for an accident, injury, he's sent to the second or third floor. So everything planned, and people will execute. And UPL has executed. Seedworks CEO tells me that last year, whatever we did, this year we'll be doing slightly higher than what we had done in the April, May, June quarter of last year. So there are companies which are doing well. And it also depends upon the industry. If you're an insurance person, obviously you must be doing well now. Because the moment people saw, my God, that Max Hospital in Gurgaon, if you see that Flexi Standy, then people will be going for health insurance. And if you are an insurance agent, then bingo, you have a chance. So that's what you need to do. These are the 7 elements of what we have seen. Now, quickly, I want to share with you in the next probably 5 or 10 minutes. So at 7:50 or 6:50, I can close it. Stressed. The biggest stress is going to be on jobs. I'm sorry, I don't have good news here. United States of America have a population of 300 million. In Indian terms, 30 crores. And in the month of May, the last week of Friday, 40 million people filed for unemployment. 40 million new people filed for unemployment, which means 4 crore people have lost their jobs. I can tell Malabar Gold, most of you must be knowing Malabar Gold. Malabar Gold have arranged for 10 chartered flights from Dubai, Abu Dhabi to Kerala and 1 to Chennai. 9 to Kerala and 1 to Chennai or Coimbatore. 2 flights have already operated. This is chartered flight is for all the employees and their families to come back to India. Jobs lost. So, but Sreeram, why are you giving us this negative news? I'm just sharing with you. 700 people have lost jobs. 700 pilots have lost jobs in Emirates. So, job losses are going to happen. At the same time, there is something else which is going to happen. Gig economy is going to come up. What is gig economy? Gig economy is employment, not a permanent employment, temporary assignment-based projects specialists will get. So if you're a sales guy, then jobs will not be gone, but otherwise it's going to be a problem. Automobile industry is going to see a lot of jobs lost. I'm going to speak about gig economy in the next few minutes time. In the next slide, I will talk. Hospitality, the most optimistic scenario is the middle of next year, 2021, and the realistic scenario is 2021 December. Aviation, very badly affected. If you're an event manager, you got to seriously look at, can I do something? Can I learn public speaking? Because a lot of event managers are good extroverts. Can I start speaking? Can I coordinate on online? Can I probably train people on events, how to conduct events? Event management is all about detailing. So can I do something? Automobiles, I have good news and bad news. Automobile industry is going to see a big challenge, but used car business is going to shoot up like mad. Is going to shoot up like mad because people are not going to prefer to travel in public transport. So in the olden world, for 10 new cars sold, 3 old cars used to be sold. Now, for every 1 new car is being sold, there will be 1.7 to 3 old cars would be sold, which means the old cars, there will be a lot of demand. Oil and gas already into a stress sector, and that's going to become bigger. So if you are unemployed or if your clients are in this sector, you have something to be worried, and you will have to bring about a change of acquiring some other clients. Luxury retail, that's going to take a long time because the rich is going to keep buying. The ultra rich I'm talking about, they will buy. But it is the aspirational rich who are also, aspirational rich means that upper middle class and bigger than middle class. Okay, slightly bigger than the middle class. They also aspire to have the smartphones. They also have aspired to have the Tommy Hilfiger, but that will go off. So with that gone, it'll be very difficult for them to operate. Malls and cinemas, I don't know what's going to happen. Probably they're saying that malls will become the new warehouses for retails. University, do you know Harvard University, not Harvard Business School, Harvard University has projected a loss of $350 million as of now. They've lost. And if this continues till the end of the year, Harvard alone will lose $750 million. And this is coming from the CFO of the Harvard. Sreeram, where did you get the information? I have. I have spoken to a lot of people in various universities across US. And the news is also coming that tier 1 and tier 2 universities in US will survive, no problem at all. Even they can take a loss of $1 billion, they can survive. But the tier 3, tier 4 is going to get affected. If your family member is planning to go and study in US, think twice, think thrice, think 4 times. It's not going to happen. So these are some of the stress sectors. Real estate, you are not mentioned, Sreeram. There's going to be a flip side to real estate. I've spoken to real estate owners, particularly apartment builders, big-time apartment builders, residential and commercial construction company CEOs, and they're telling us that the trend they're getting is a lot of inquiries and bookings. Inquiries and bookings are also coming from Gulf GCC countries because they were moving, but it's coming in tier 2 and tier 3 towns, more than tier 1 towns. So a lot of people are planning to shift to India, and they would buy. But this itself would not be enough because already a lot of inventory is being held by the real estate companies. So that's another challenge. So these are the stress sectors up to an extent. And what are the good sectors? If you are in anything in the digital products, it's going to go big. Digital coaching, online speaking, digital marketing, everything. Insurance. If you're an insurance guy, it's going to be big. So which means if you're looking for clients, look for clients in these areas. You may be selling air conditioners. You may be selling, HVAC. You may be selling real estate also. Because these are the guys where the money is going to go. Money is going to go to the hands of agriculture. Agriculture is going through a rapid transformation. It's going to be a good crop. People are going to have good time. And that's going to be another industry which is going to do well. Pharma is going to do very well. All kinds of pharma industries are doing well. So if you have clients in pharma, you're good. In fact, I don't have clients in pharma now. I'm having a challenge. Data sciences is going to pick up in a big way. If you have children who are probably into the teenage or their 20s, and if they have passion for numbers, data science, that's the place to invest. In fact, there's no point in sending children to engineering college because spending 2 lakhs per year and coming out with nothing because jobs are not going to be there. But data sciences, it's going to be there. Gaming is going to pick up big time. So these are the moving up. Those are the moving down, moving up. But what's going to happen to employment? Welcome to gig economy, or what I call it as forced entrepreneurship, because most people now are going to become a forced entrepreneur or a gig economy. Now, gig economy is going to throw a different challenge. If you're competent, if you're effective, if you have the right attitude, you're going to be a winner. If you're not, you're going to be a loser. Because in gig economy, you're not going to get job security. You're not going to get job benefits like insurance, PF, and all those stuff. Nothing is going to be there. You're going to be on assignment to assignment basis. And because even in oil and gas, itself, people are saying, I have a friend of mine who works for Total in Abu Dhabi. He's the technical head. He says, 3 months I have worked from home, and he's a technical head. And this is possible. As long as you have access to SAP, and you know how it works, it's possible. So that's what is happening. As a result of which, more and more jobs will move towards gig economy. In gig economy, you will not have a boss to protect you, because inefficient and incapable people, inefficient, ineffective, incompetent people also survived in the earlier model. How did they survive? Boss ke liye, I'm good with boss. Boss likes me. That's enough. Now, in a gig economy, there is going to be no boss protection. Okay. You will be thoroughly exposed. A lot of chartered accountants, a lot of company secretaries, a lot of cost accountants will have to move towards the gig economy. It's going to be the gig economy which is going to pick up. People will hire you for 6 months, get a project done, then you have to move. But you can work on multiple projects at the same time because you're not committed to one person all the time. So that's what is going to happen. But gig economy, as I told you, the old order changeth, yielding place to new, and God fulfills himself in many ways. One of the ways through which God has fulfilled is there were challenges, problems, disadvantages of traditional employment. Traditional employment, although gave security to people, it gave security to also inefficient, incapable, incompetent people. Now that is going to be corrected and changed through the gig economy. So this is what it is. So what do I need to do? Encourage people, empathize with people, equip people, empower people, energize people, and get into an execution mode. The 7 elements. But remember, survival of the fastest, quickest, and the swiftest, and that's what is going to make a difference. So I'm going to stop sharing now. I would love to have your feedback. I'm going to share the Google page feedback link to you, and I would love to hear a feedback from you. I'm going to put it on the chat page so that you can go there and write a review, quick review about what you felt about this webinar. And then this is my number, WhatsApp number. If you want to get regular messages, inspirational messages, updates about my book, on the conversations which I'm having, you can feel free to WhatsApp me and I will reply you back. Please do not call me, but WhatsApp me. This is my email ID and this is my website. Okay, so quickly, I'm not going to stop sharing, but I'll just remove this. I will take this. I will copy, and you can make a note of this if you want to. And then I'm stopping the share. I'm coming to the chat box. I'm putting it here. Okay. So now we are good to go for your questions. I'll be more than happy to take your questions. So all you need to do is you need to raise your hands. Mr. Ajay Banaria says, great session, sir. Thank you very much. I'll be more than happy to answer to your questions. So all you need to do is to just raise your hands. I will unmute you so that you can ask me questions. Okay, next session is going to be, again, we're going back to the relationship marketing session. Very informative session, and in a way helped us to be proactive so that we can take action in the right direction. Thank you. Yeah. And at the same time, people need help. Okay. When I say help, you would need people to look for the people who are going to win, or those people who are going to take mentoring, coaching, consulting with people. I'm not anything to sell. I'm saying, go to anybody, whomsoever you think is the right person, go with them, engage with them, and work with them. You need, at this point in time, all of us need a guide, a mentor, more than any other time. So Subbu says, excellent session and action points to move forward. Vijay Kumar says, impressive. JVC, yes. Any questions anybody has? Any point, anything you would like to say, to express? I'll be more than glad to Take it up. No questions. If you have no questions, means there are only three scenarios. One, you've understood everything, whatever I said. Two, you've not understood anything, whatever you said, whatever I said. Or three, whatever I spoke was Greek and Latin. I don't know. I hope it is the first one. Madhur Mundra, amazing session from GSS Rajan. When is your book going to be released? I think I will have a clue about it by next week. I wanted to be released in July because I don't want to postpone it too much because it's about the COVID. The sooner it goes into the hands of a reader, the better it will be to face the situation. So I'm looking at July, but let me hear from the publisher. The publisher is the final guy anyway. Jagdish is saying, wonderful session, highly informative. Deepika, because only when they're earning well, they will be able to give better business to us. Exactly. So I have seen somebody raising the hand, Mr. Sambat Kumar. Okay, 1 second. Let me just figure out where is Mr. Sambat Kumar, and I would be happy to unmute you.
Thanks, Sreeram. It is a nice session.
Yeah.
But for the MSME sector,
yeah,
where we are representing, where these are all limited in the organizational structures.
Yeah.
How the empowerment and engagement of with customers is very, very well understood.
Yeah.
Employees are not very, what do you call, they may be productive in their work. But otherwise, when there is no work, how to motivate them to just stay confident that where things will improve and we can have a better thing in the future. Because nowadays salary cuts are also taking place.
Correct.
And that also demotivate them to some extent.
Right.
So how to motivate them?
Okay, I'm coming with an exclusive chapter for MSMEs in my book. I think Meenal Sharma and Akshita, all those people know I'm coming with an exclusive chapter for MSMEs. We had a panel discussion. Now, number one, any employee will have to be told very clearly, Mr. Sambat Kumar, that the very fact that the business is paying you today, that itself is the biggest blessing. So they will have to be prepared for salary cuts. And if they are not, this is the time, I'm sorry to make this statement, this is the time to replace and get the new people with the kind of people you want inside the company. Because across the board, I think you would agree with me that there is going to be job cuts. What is required at this point in time is a hire for attitude and train for skills. People will have to have that attitude. Oh my God, my salary is reduced by 15%. I will not work the way in which I used to work. Now, you know pretty well, you are waiting for an opportunity. That opportunity has come. I hope you're able to understand what I'm saying. You're getting what I'm saying.
Good.
And
thank you.
Number two, how do I empower people? Constant communication. In fact, one of the things which is very critical is that almost every day you need to have, that is what engagement I'm talking about, with the employees also. How do you give them the confidence? Communicate every day. Every day have a communication, and preferably have a communication face-to-face through a kind of a Zoom or Microsoft Teams or anything of that kind, rather than just on the phone call and WhatsApp messages. That's one way by means of which you can keep people engaged. I'll tell you another way also keeping people. I was talking to my client in EY in UK. He says that my way of energizing people is, one of the days, actually, we said we will all have lunch together. What, having lunch together during lockdown? No? We said everyone will bring lunch between 1 and 2 near their computer, and we all will have lunch together, eat. This is one way of energizing people. So we have to find innovative methods by means of which we can do that. Yes, I have seen. I hope I have answered your question, Mr. Sambat Kumar. I'm seeing Deepika now. Yeah, Deepika, please go ahead.
So what can we do? Our client do not have the business, and if we move towards new clients, they are saying they already have vendors or chartered. How can I give our business to you?
So what value addition you can give? What value addition you can give, Deepika, which is what is critical. As I told you, the Chaudhary spinning mills were chasing these two very big guys. I don't want to name them because it's confidential. Two of the biggest textile units, and they were not buying from them. But when others were not able to supply, these guys were able to supply, and they didn't take advantage of situation. As a result of which they switched over to Chaudhary spinning mills. Same case I'm not saying ditch the customers who are not having the money, engage with them now, engage with the clients. And for the new clients, one of the things the chartered accountants have always had a challenge, please do not mistake me for what I'm saying, is that chartered accountant had a very peculiar style of functioning where you are supposed to be a person of compliance. You're getting my point? As a result of which I am a compliant person, as a result of which service levels in India have always been low. I hope you're getting what I'm saying. Now, the new breed of chartered accountants will have to mix both service cum compliance. The compliance is towards the institution and the government, but money is paid by the client. I'm not saying that you should do whatever he's asking you to do. Then you will end up like Gopal Krishna in the, I don't know what I want to say.
But still, it has become very difficult to approach new
service. So service is what is critical. So
At
service.
least we shall get a chance to give that service.
Yes, I think, did you attend my image program?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Watch the video on that. Now move into that. You have to become an expert. You have to become an expert. You have to become an expert. I will talk about exactly, you heard of this gentleman called Madhukar?
No.
Okay, Madhukar, anybody in India in GST, even Reliance CFO has a problem, he will be calling Madhukar, because Madhukar has established himself as the man. Now, what did he do? In fact, I took as a case study. Based on that, I prepared the image part of it. Okay, so I'll share with you, follow that. That's the way. One of the strategies to build the image, which is what is critical. Okay, hope I've answered your question, Deepika.
Yeah, perfect.
Who else has got any question to ask? The only silly question is a question not asked. 7 elements of leadership was very insightful. Stress sectors and sectors that are moving up to give an idea of how things are going to shape up. Gig economy, forged entrepreneurs the way forward, and brief about it was useful. Looking forward to the next session and JVC's book soon. Mr. J, strategic HRD consultant. Anand Badmanaban says, excellent session, wonderful insights. The 7 action points are clear on the steps to take to move ahead. Communicate to keep employees engaged. Communicate with empathy, exactly. Right. What about the education sector in India? Mr. Jagdish is asking. Which education sector, Mr. Jagdish? Jagdish, if I can unmute you also, you can tell me which education sector you're talking about. You're talking about our education sector, or how's it? I'm just going to unmute you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jagdish, go ahead, Jagdish.
The educational sector that I'm speaking is about what I call the university things. I believe that whatever has happened till now, in terms of what you call lack of skill set, just routing the way the students used to by heart and reproduce and get marks and have a lot of degrees. They have 4 degrees, but none of the degree will help. So what would be the future of the education? What you foresee it?
So if you look at, you're talking about a way it is conducted or what it is?
The way
it is conducted. So the way it is conducted, even Harvard has moved 6 out of the 12 undergraduate courses online. Okay. So moving forward, you will have an hybrid model. Hybrid model is still the vaccine comes out. What experts are telling is that when the containment has happened, people will have to come, because laboratories, they will have to go to the labs, right? You can't simulate a lab in your home, work from home.
Correct.
It's not possible. So there could be an hybrid model, but most of them would have moved online. Okay. Most of the things would have moved online. And our business, you have to be ready, Jagdish, to move to online. Okay. Because our business means he's also a trainer. He's a good friend of mine. So that's why I'm saying we have to move online. There is no other go. Okay. Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, including them, every one of them is moving online, and that's the way. Okay, today I think there's a concert, 8 o'clock, there's a big concert, I guess, and it is moving online. Correct. And I didn't speak about those things because time is not there. IPL is going to be held under closed doors if it is held this year, 100%. There's no doubt about that. Okay, could be a virtue. So it's more and more clear as the days are passing by. Let us not be optimistic idiots. Let us be, at this point in time, when I say optimistic idiots, thinking that things will change, things will get better, corona will go off, so normalcy will come, and waiting for that, rather for that to happen, change yourself as if corona has come and is staying there. If I were to ask you one question, if corona is going to stay till 2023 and vaccines do not come and no medicines come, what would happen? What would you do? If God tells you that this is the way it will be, what would you do? do that now. If COVID goes off by September 2020, be happy. Don't call me a fool, but be happy. Get prepared for the worst so that you will be able to face situation. See, optimism will work in certain places. These kind of critical attitude and critical thinking will work when you're handling crisis or pandemonium or pandemic. In fact, even in my book, I'm saying governments are functionally designed to administer under a normal platform. When things are normal, they know how to perform. But when a pandemic comes, and even if it comes for, say, floods or earthquake, comes for 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, as a result of which governments can handle. But a pandemic situation, which has been there for a longer duration, even most efficient governments will not be able to perform because changes are extremely difficult. So now, if I as a businessman, you as a businessman, and as a trainer will have to change, ask yourself this question. If COVID does not go till 2023, and if I have that information with me, what will I do? Will I wind up my business? Will I get out of the business? Will I go on a sannyas? No, I will find a new method to run my business. Am I true or not, Jagdish? Is that what we are talking in the business? In our trainings also, aren't we talking the same thing?
Yes.
If this is what we are telling the clients, if this is what we are telling the students, this is what applies to us. It applies to me. It applies to you. Very simple. The path could be tough, but that's the way. Okay. This is a great pause, and the pause has been put. I'm sorry, I may be sounding pessimistic, but I'm not. I'm wanting to be. In fact, as Medica's vice chairman said, one of them asked, it seems, what if COVID doesn't come and we do all these changes? So you will call me a fool. Okay, but what if COVID comes and we have not done anything? Then we'll be gone. That's what. Okay. I'm preparing for the worst, that's all.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Hope I've answered your question.
Yeah.
Anybody else has any question to ask, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, it's a great time I had. How would the school education sector work? There is no other go, Anand. Now everything is the same. School, college, till we have a vaccine or till the virus goes off, which I'm not seeing it, because when we are seeing in 45 new cases today in Beijing, something tells me that we have to find a way. And people will find a way. And the greatest thing about human beings is we are resilient. We will find a way. And the moment we find a way, you will see our performance goes up. Efficiency has come now. People have become more effective. People have become more efficient. People are thinking more about their life and career than about other things. No, we're not talking about Shah Rukh Khan next movie, Prabhas next movie, Mammootty Rajinikanth's next movie. We are talking about our life. And all these days, what many people are doing, they used to be watching serial or they used to be watching movies in the theaters. Am I right, Anand? Okay. Now people, what they're doing, okay, they're investing. Now, if I had a webinar, then, I would not have had so many participants. Isn't it?
Yes, you're right, Sreeram. You're absolutely right.
Mr. GSS Rajan, excellent session, Sreeram. Thank you very much. So I'm extremely grateful to each one of you who have joined here. So if you do not know about me, I'm a keynote speaker. I'm a corporate trainer. I'm an international keynote speaker operating in different parts of the world. Feel free to be in touch with me, and I'll be more than happy to guide you in any method, in any ways forward. And the book is coming. The title will be announced very shortly. I'm sure this book will add value. It's too much of research. In fact, the only complaint which I'm receiving from all my beta readers are that too many things are there, Sreeram. It's too much of research. Okay, so that is the only thing. We are cutting down on what can be done. We have done as much research as possible in a very short span of time. And I just want to share with you, in 2 months' time, for the entire manuscript to be over, I don't know how many books that come out like that. So that's a work which we are doing. Okay, good work. So thank you very much for joining in the evening today, your valuable time. And I hope to see you the next Saturday with something on relationship marketing. So thank you so much. Om Sairam says, great energy, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. All the very best. And good night. Stay safe. Stay safe. And I like that person who's wearing mask, and I just want to unmute. Yeah, Om Saram. Your name, madam?
Sir, this is Chandana Shruti from VK Pest Control.
Okay. They are one of the disaster management people in Hyderabad. Okay, her partner is a client of mine in Ascentive Pro, and they've actually kept
Dr.
the entire
Vikram
city.
Singh.
Yeah, he's an entomologist. Yeah, entomologist from Germany, and he's a client whom I gave an image makeover. From a pest control guy today, he has become a disaster management specialist for the government of Telangana and GHMC. So thank you very much, madam. Okay. Thank you very much. 7:09. I said 7:10. I'll close. I think it's 7:09. Okay. Thank you very much. So good night. Stay safe. Don't take a chance. All the very best. Thank you. Don't forget to write a few lines in the Google page. Thank you very much. Yeah, you want to ask something? Madhur Mundra, do you want to ask something? I'm unable to unmute you. Yeah, Madhur, you're asking something?
No, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just saw your hand rising, that's why.
Yeah. No, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. 7:10, and I'm ending the webinar. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
My pleasure.